Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever found yourself in a new place, needing a little help with something practical? Maybe your phone died or, the Wi-Fi cut out and suddenly felt completely lost for words. Or perhaps you're just endlessly fascinated by how people navigate everyday communication across different cultures, especially when a little troubleshooting is involved. Today, we're embarking on a very practical deep dive into Indonesian, specifically how to confidently ask for and offer help, all through the lens of a remarkably relatable modern problem: a misbehaving computer. We've been given an insightful language lesson excerpt as our primary source. It's packed with real dialogue, essential vocabulary, key grammar rules, and even a fascinating peek into the digital pulse of Indonesia. Our mission isn't just to translate, but to unearth those crucial nuggets that will help you truly grasp these Indonesian phrases, understand the context in which they're used, and connect them to a broader cultural understanding, all in a surprisingly quick and thorough way.
Exactly. And what's truly illuminating here is how practical language lessons focused on real-world scenarios don't just teach you to speak. They unlock an entire layer of cultural nuance and social expectation. Our goal is to go beyond the literal translations, to show you why certain phrases are used, what they imply, and how mastering them can open doors to more authentic interactions, especially when you need a helping hand. We'll be zeroing in on the Indonesian language itself and its precise English translations provided in our source material. That's the core focus here.
Get ready for some genuine aha moments as we peel back the layers of a simple conversation and reveal how a few key words and phrases can make all the difference, transforming a potential communication hurdle into a smooth exchange. So, we're kicking things off by stepping right into a common modern-day dilemma. Imagine Hana, frustrated, her brand new speaker stubbornly silent. And then a helpful friend, Andy, steps in. Their exchange, captured in our source material, isn't just about fixing a computer, it's a miniature masterclass in practical Indonesian. Let's listen to their dialogue line by line, first in Indonesian, then its English translation, so you can really hear the language in action. Andy starts, offering assistance. Ada apa dengan komputermu? Ada yang bisa kubantu? Hana. In English, that translates to, what is wrong with your computer? Can I help you, Hana? Hana explains her predicament. Suaranya tidak keluar walaupun pengeras suaranya sudah dinyalakan. Okay. Meaning the sound does not come out even though the speaker is already switched on. And he then asks for clarification. Apa kau yakin pengeras suaranya berfungsi dengan baik?
A reasonable question.
Or, to put that in English, are you sure the speaker is working well? Hana insists, stressing the newness of her hardware. Ini pengeras suara baru. Bantu aku untuk mencari pemakan masalah suaranya.
Right, the classic, but it's new.
Translated as, this speaker is brand new. Help me to find the solution for the sound problem. Ani offers a technical solution. Periksa bagian perangkat lunaknya. Kurasa kau memerlukan pemangku peranti untuk kartu suaranya.
Getting technical now.
Which means, check the software settings. I think you need the device driver for the sound card. Hana, a little confused by the jargon, asks, Pemangku peranti. Bagaimana cara mendapatkan pemangku peranti itu?
Understandable confusion there.
In English, the device driver. How do we get the device driver? Andy explains, pointing to a common modern resource. Download the internet. Pemangku peranti tersedia gratis di internet.
The internet saves the day.
Translating to, download it from the internet. The device driver is available for free on the internet. And Hana concludes, ready to tackle the problem, coba aku cari di internet.
Okay, action plan.
Meaning, let me search for it on the internet.
You know, it's fascinating about this particular problem, the device driver, pimaku peranti, and sound card, kartu suara, is that it immediately anchors our language lesson in a modern universal experience. Yeah. And for those less familiar with the tech side, a device driver is essentially a small piece of software that acts as an interpreter, allowing your computer's operating system to communicate properly with a specific hardware component, like your sound card, which processes audio.
Right, like a translator between the main system and the speaker part.
Exactly. Without the right driver, your computer just won't know how to make sound, even if the speakers themselves are working perfectly. It's a perfect example of how language adapts to practical, even technical needs in daily life. Even these tech terms become part of everyday Indonesian conversation.
That simple exchange, yeah, even about a tech problem, was packed with everyday words. But as we often find in language, simple rarely means singular in meaning, does it?
Not at all.
Now, let's pull out some of the key words from that conversation and really delve into their hidden depths. We've got computer. Well, that's pretty clear, computer.
Mm-hmm. A loan word.
Then suara, sound noun. Baru, new adjective. Perlu, to need verb. Also gratis, free, without cost adjective. Yakin, sure adjective. And bantu, to help banner.
And this is where it gets incredibly rich. On the surface, these seem like direct translations, but the source material really highlights how some of these seemingly basic words carry different meanings or nuances depending on the context. This raises an important question for any language learner. How do you move beyond literal translation to truly grasp the cultural implications of a word, especially focusing on the Indonesian and its English equivalent? Let's take suara. While it's certainly used for sound, as in the example, suara penggera, suara itu terdengar sangat jernih, the sound of the speaker is clearly audible. It also commonly means voice.
Ah, okay, like a person's voice.
Exactly. For example, kami dapat mendengar suara penyanyi itu dari gedung sebelah means we could hear the singer's voice from next building.
Yeah.
So if you only knew sound, you might be confused if someone said they liked your suara, your voice. It really highlights how essential context is, even for a common noun.
That's a classic example of how direct translation can only get you so far, right? And speaking of subtleties, baru is another fascinating one. We heard Hana say, ini penggera suara baru. This speaker is brand new. Its primary meaning is indeed new, like mobil baru for new car. Mm-hmm. But our source points out a powerful secondary use.
Absolutely. Baru also functions in a way that emphasizes a recent incident or activity, almost like the English word just.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine you're at a friend's house and they offer you coffee, but you've just had some. Yep. If you were to say, aku selesai makan, meaning I finished eating, it's correct, but maybe a bit plain. But if you add baru, as in aku baru selesai makan, it changes to I have just finished eating, emphasizing the immediate past.
So it adds that timing element.
Precisely. The nuance lies in that sense of just now, which is crucial for conveying timing precisely. Think of it as conveying immediacy, which can subtly shift the meaning of an entire sentence. There's a common pitfall if you only learn the new definition.
And then there's gratis. It means free, without cost, and we saw Andy use it when talking about downloading drivers. Tersedia gratis di internet. Available for free.
Right.
But the source also points out that it's often used in the context of something being a compliment or a gift.
Yes, exactly. Gratis often implies a bonus or a complimentary item rather than just no charge. The example from the source, dengan berlangganan selama 1 bulan, Anda mendapatkan sebuah mug ganti gratis. By subscribing for 1 month, you will get a lovely mug for free. Perfectly illustrates this.
So it's like a freebie, an extra perk.
Kind of, yeah. It's not that the mug has no inherent cost. It's given to you as a complimentary item with the subscription. This hints at a cultural appreciation, perhaps, for gifts and added value, even in commercial transactions. It's a subtle but important part of the cultural tapestry woven into the language.
So what does this all mean for you as someone trying to be well informed? It means even a basic word can have multiple layers of meaning depending on the context. And truly understanding those layers, particularly through examples of Indonesian and its English translation like we're doing, is absolutely key to navigating real-world conversations and avoiding misunderstandings.
It's not just rote memorization. It's understanding the cultural and situational nuances embedded in the vocabulary.
Okay, building on that foundation, let's pivot to the core grammar focus of this lesson. The incredibly practical art of asking for and offering help in Indonesian. This is such a crucial skill for any traveler, learner, or even just someone curious about cross-cultural communication. Our source gives us some clear pathways. To ask for help, the common polite expression introduced is permisi boleh minta tolong plus verb. This translates elegantly to, excuse me, may I ask your help to plus verb? You can then simply add what you need assistance with. Let's hear some examples straight from the material, paying attention to the politeness embedded in the phrasing. First, permisi, boleh minta tolong buka jendelanya.
Okay.
In English, excuse me, may I ask your help to open the window? Very clear. Another one, boleh minta tolong pasang penggera suaranya?
A bit more direct, dropping the permisi but still polite with boleh minta tolong.
Translating to, may I ask your help to set up the speaker? Or perhaps a slightly more apologetic, equally polite version. Maaf boleh minta tolong nyalakan televisinya. Using maaf for sorry, which is, sorry, may I ask your help to turn on the TV?
What's really interesting here is the consistent structure boleh minta tolong and the use of permisi or maaf up front. These aren't just filler words. They really signify a cultural emphasis on politeness and differential requests.
Right, it's about acknowledging you're asking for something.
Exactly. It's not just about getting what you need. It's about acknowledging the imposition on someone's time or effort. This is universally valuable in social interactions, of course, but it feels particularly highlighted in a cultural context like Indonesia's, as reflected in these standard phrases. It sets the tone for a helpful and respectful exchange.
Absolutely. Now, what if we are the ones who want to offer help? The dialogue started with Andy asking, "Ada yang bisa kubantu?"
Yes, the general expression.
It's incredibly versatile. "Ada yang bisa kubantu?" which translates simply to, "Can I help you?" Or perhaps, "Is there anything I can help you with?" While there might be more specific ways to offer aid, this general term can be used in a wide range of situations, from fixing a computer like Andi to carrying groceries. Here are a couple of examples given in the source that show its flexibility. "Ada yang bisa kubantu, biar aku bantu bawakan barang bawaanmu."
So, offering generally, then specifying.
In English, "Can I help you? Let me help you bring your belongings." And another, "Ada yang bisa kubantu biar aku bantu bawa makan piringnya ke dapur."
Similar pattern.
Meaning, "Can I help you? Let me help you bring these plates to the kitchen."
This section truly underlines how essential these polite phrases are in any language. It's not merely about knowing individual words like Bantu for help, but understanding the complete cultural scripts for interaction. How do you actually use that word politely?
Yeah, the whole phrase matters.
Right. These expressions for asking, offering, and of course thanking, like terima kasih, are universally valuable. Yet their specific phrasing in Indonesian, as shown with their direct English translations, offers a direct window into how these social courtesies are embedded within the language itself. This helps bridge that gap immediately for learners.
Our initial dialogue about the computer conundrum ended with Andy suggesting, Hana, download the device driver from the internet. Download the internet. And that simple instruction leads us directly to a truly fascinating cultural insight provided in our source material: the incredible story of internet usage in Indonesia. This really broadens our understanding beyond just the specific language points. Let's look at some eye-opening statistics from 2012, which is the time frame given in the source. With a total population back then of around 248 million people, Indonesia surprisingly had the 8th largest portion of internet users in the world.
Wow, 8th largest.
Yeah, with a staggering 55 million people online. That's about 22.1% of its population at the time. And even though that only represented about 2.3% of the world's internet users back then, considering commercial internet services only really launched in Indonesia around 1995.
Relatively late compared to some places.
Exactly. This represented one of the most rapid growth internet user populations globally, a huge jump in a relatively short time.
What's truly fascinating here, beyond the sheer numbers, is how quickly and enthusiastically social networking sites became the dominant online activity for Indonesian internet users.
So not just using it for information, but for connecting.
Precisely. This isn't just about connectivity. It's about how a nation embraced these new forms of communication and integrated them so rapidly into their daily lives. The digital landscape quickly became a social landscape. And you have to imagine this explosion of online communication means that informal language, text abbreviations, maybe even new ways of asking for help online are constantly evolving. It could even influence the more formal phrases we're learning today.
Absolutely. The source highlights specific social media popularity from that era. For example, Facebook, one of the most well-known social networking sites globally, while Indonesia became its 4th biggest user country in the world back then.
4th, that's huge.
And Twitter also gained immense popularity in the Indonesian community. The number of Twitter accounts in Indonesia was the 5th highest globally. And get this, Jakarta, the capital, was apparently at the top of the country's 20 cities by the sheer number of posted tweets. They were really active.
So when we learn phrases for asking for help, like boleh minta tolong, it's not just for face-to-face interactions anymore, is it? Understanding this digital fluency hints at a whole other layer of conversational nuances you might encounter in a practical setting. Perhaps even when looking for tech help online, like Hana might have done, or using social media to connect. It shows that even a seemingly basic language lesson focused on Indonesian and English is actually giving you a powerful lens into a country's evolving communication patterns, both offline and online.
This really shows you just how interconnected language learning, everyday problems like computer glitches, and broader cultural and technological trends can be. A simple computer issue led us right into understanding a nation's digital landscape and the surprising ways people connected online, even over a decade ago, based on our source. It's all part of that deep dive into the source material, seeing how everything is connected.
So what does this all mean for you as someone seeking to be truly well-informed? We started with a very practical, basic computer problem, but we've seen how deeply interconnected language, culture, and everyday communication really are. Understanding these interactions From politely asking for help with permisi boleh minta tolong to navigating new technologies and the language around them gives us a far richer picture of how a society functions. The direct study of the Indonesian language and its English translations, especially in the context of these real-world scenarios from our source, is truly key to unlocking this deeper understanding. It reveals both linguistic and cultural insights simultaneously.
Indeed. We've decoded a practical Indonesian conversation. We've explored the surprising nuances of common words like swara and baru. We've mastered those crucial phrases for asking and offering help. And we even glimpsed Indonesia's incredible digital transformation and its implications for language. So next time you find yourself listening to a foreign language being spoken, or maybe even facing a common tech glitch yourself, consider not just the words being used, but the entire cultural tapestry woven around that communication. What else can you learn about a place and its people just by listening closely to how they ask for and offer help?
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.